Hey Roadrunners, welcome back to the Lit Medallion. Here we are, it's game day. This is probably gonna be one of my shortest videos I've probably ever done, right? Simply because there's really not a lot to talk about here. There's not any positions to grade, who's better at what position. It's just plain and simple play football. So I got my Rowdy with the Lit Medallion. I got my all blues on because if you go to the game, you better be wearing blue. If you're wearing white, you're gonna blend in. If you wear orange, you're dumb. I mean, you're D-U-M, capital D, capital U, capital M, dumb, because the Volunteers wear convict orange, as we like to say in the SEC world. Yes, I'm an SEC homer, so hate me. Don't care. Really don't care. Because until you do what the SEC's done, and this includes the ACC, this includes the Big Ten, this includes the Big 12, until you've done what they've done in the past 50 years as a conference. Think about what I'm saying. As a conference. You're second fiddle. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. In fact, the SEC is the model we should follow. There's a reason OU and Texas A&M, and Missouri bolted from the Big 12. Simple reason. Because the SEC runs college football. SEC stands for Securities and Exchange Commission, or Southeastern Conference. So you might as well just put that dollar sign for the S, right? And good. There you go. Hate me. Don't care. Let's talk about this game. It comes down to two positions. I said it wasn't about positions and whatnot, but I still got to talk about the game, right? Tennessee's defensive line and Tennessee's wide receivers. It's going to come down to that. Can they get to our quarterback? In other words, can our offensive line stop their defensive line? And can our defensive backs run with their wide receivers? Now, you've heard SEC speed. Let me give you a hint of what SEC speed really means. It's not winning track races. No, it's not. It's not having the fastest player on the field. Because we know in the 90s, that was Deion Sanders. He played in Florida State, right? In the Big East, or whatever conference they were in at the time. Maybe they were in the ACC. Right? Think about what I'm telling you. But here's the difference. Here's the difference. It's being 6'2", 225 pounds, running like you're 6 foot, 185 pounds. It's running sideline to sideline, the same speed, but having a 4-inch longer wingspan to reach out for players. That's SEC speed. It's just different, right? Let me give you a hint on teams that I think that are similar to the SEC, and I'll tell you why they're similar. Look at Utah. See how big they are? They're some big boys. They don't get outrun. They kind of look like they're slow, but if you look, they do not get outrun, right? Urban Meyer's Ohio State. There's a reason Michigan a few years ago tried to do a teen camp in the South. He needed to get those big boys from the South, right? I used to lament because I used to always, look, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great football players in the San Antonio area, and you can make a great program out of players from San Antonio area. And yes, you have to lock down the area. We can't lock down the state, but we can lock down San Antonio. And that's great because you got to fill a roster, right? But you've got to find those special kids. And we had some, and we have found them, right? Outside of San Antonio. We've gotten some come from Mississippi, some come from Louisiana. We had some come from Florida, right? Coach Coker knew. Whether they panned out perfectly, who knows? But when you go get those kind of kids, they're just built different. They're not the slow, big kids from Nebraska. The Nebraska, when they ran the option, right, used on those offensive lines, right? Big, strong kids, right? who are relatively quick. No, these are kids that are built different, right? That's what we're dealing with. This is going to be a test on our program. To me, this is our team's outside of game one, outside of Texas A&M's first game that we went there, outside of going to Texas and Austin and playing ourselves well. To me, this is dare I say it, because I've said it last week, that was a career-defining loss. How does our team respond to that loss to Army? Well, this is career-defining also. How does our team respond to being on that stage, knowing that Eddie Lee's starting? Do we come out of that game unscathed? Or do we come out of that game battered, bruised, completely injured? There's the definition of our season. I am telling you, this is a dangerous game that our kids could come out of there like we did against Texas. Now, we overcame Texas because we had a healthy Frank all season. Frank's out with turf toe, so he's probably going to be out he's going to be out at least until conference play starts. So this is big. This is big. I don't know if JT's playing. I haven't heard, right? Today, I wouldn't play him. I no how, no way. Might as well put the kids next year out cannon fodder. Hey, these kids we got now that are playing now, weren't they cannon fodder against A&M in 2019? I think they were. If you think about it, I think they were. I think we had a lot of kids there that baptism by fire. But at the same time, we scored first and scored last, so we actually won the game, right? 45-14 or whatever the score was. We scored first and scored last. That's all that matters, right? Okay, I jest. It's a fun time. It's fun time being a Roadrunner fan. I'm over the funk of losing to Army. I don't think I'll ever get over the funk of that bad call. Now, I watched the replay, and I heard what that homer from Houston said, that good no call. The irony is, I saw a game last night. Forgot who was playing last night. He lamented that pass interference should have been called. Why is that? How do you change your emotions like that? Because you can't get over Houston versus San Antonio. Remember, he was from Houston, played for Houston. So he looks down on San Antonio. He doesn't like San Antonio because they're afraid. Think about it, what I'm saying. If you played for Houston, yeah, you're beating UTSA, but you're afraid of San Antonio rising up. When we left the Houston game, there are kids behind it. Charles Barkley, right? There's some big-ass women from in San Antonio. Dude, you're in Texas. There's big-ass women everywhere. Everywhere. But I had to remind them, 5 NBA championships are better than 2. I just had to say that loud enough. Guess what? They shut up, didn't they? Of course they did. Anyway, let's go get this dub, Roadrunners. I plan on live streaming. I'm going to get my computer going on, whatnot, and set up the live stream. Just see my reaction throughout the game. 3 hours of me lamenting, eating, whatever I plan on, grabbing a bite to eat, drinking a margarita or two, that kind of fun stuff. Maybe a beer or two. Who knows? During the game. I'm not monetized, so you can't hate me for it. So I'll never be monetized. I'll never be sponsored. I will be who I am, right? Me and my 40 fans. Anyway, shout out to everybody who made the trip to Knoxville. I can guarantee you this. This is probably going to be the loudest stadium. This will be the loudest outdoor opponent stadium you've ever been in. Unless the fans just show up and go to sleep early. But if there's any closeness in this game, the way Neyland Stadium's built, look at an aerial view. It's built like a baseball stadium, right? It's built in that circular. It's got the overhang that keeps that noise in. It'll be the loudest outdoor stadium you've ever been in. And yes, there'll be 100,000 people. Well, maybe not 100,000, but there'll be 90,000 people in there committed to their team winning. 90% chance that they'll be committed. They might not care, right? After the loss last week. Who knows? Who knows? If they aren't, hey man, get your better seat. Scoot down and get your better seats. Don't sit in the nosebleeds or wherever you're sitting at, right? Cheer on our Roadrunners. Peace out. Good luck, Roadrunners.